data. They're going to be out there doing proper engagement. Where customers are looking at their capacity, in the case of Bluebonnet, and they're actually adding capacity to the grid by putting wind farms in, because they can actually see what they're consuming, they can see what they're doing. So really powerful. Businesses achieve the win-win with energy incentives, and if you question at all whether it impacts financial results, CenterPoint, one of our large-scale success stories, 52-week high on the stock price. And so smart grid can really drive results. You can get past these challenges. Unfortunately, like I said, the challenges do make it more difficult for everybody in the market and simply change the market. So what is eMeter trying to do? We're striving to be the best of the best in software. And when we think about the best of the best in software, when I look at eMeter, it's yes, we provide software for the utility industry, and yes, we have to have a lot of utility expertise, which we've traditionally had. As I mentioned a year ago, when I first joined the company, we were going to complement the team with lots of enterprise software capability. And we did that so that we can get our policy straight, we can figure out how we deliver software more effectively, we can talk about and figure out how we support the product more effectively, ultimately delivering more value to you so that we have the best of the utility industry representation in our team complemented by the best in the software industry. And that has worked out very effectively to us, part of what's led to this show being well over twice as big as it was last year. It also has led to process and team changes around how we think about different programs. You'll hear through the course of the next couple days the introduction of business critical support. The whole notion that says, yes, these are operational systems that can't go down. They need a different level of support. If you think about the ATM machine, you go to the ATM machine, you put your card in, you get money out. Think about the frustration if you go to the ATM machine and it says, well, we're down today, sorry, come back some other time. Or go find another bank. Pay a service charge at another bank because ours is down and you can't use this machine. And so in an interesting way, anticipation is this reliability and safety equation that if I flip the light, A, I'm not going to get shocked, and B, the light's going to come on when I throw the switch. And so we want to make sure that we have the support agreements and the support practices in place to support your efforts around that. So business critical support will be coming up. And then on the transparency and communication front, my thanks again, I mentioned it last night at the opening reception, to the User Advisory Board. There's a group of companies and technical folks here that help represent all of you in the room to make sure we hear your feedback and we hear it directly, and we take that feedback and we plan it back into our product strategies. This year we also started a strategic advisory board where we brought on industry executives, really the leaders of various utilities, a number of them retired, some of them former commissioners, start giving us advice on our business about strategically how should we approach the market, where should we go, what other things should we offer, what's our best routes to market, what kinds of expectations do the CEOs and the board of directors of utility have on suppliers that supply technology to the company. So at the end of the day, we're doing all the teamwork. We're trying to be as transparent as we can. You'll see technical sessions throughout the course of this event where you really get the opportunity to listen and learn about what's going on in the smart grid and what's going on within eMeter as well. Now, one of the areas that we focused on based on that feedback was simply making the upgrade process easier. The upgrade process, as I came into the company, I heard it pretty loudly at the conference last year, it's pretty tough to upgrade eMeter software. You've got to work at it pretty hard. It's not that easy to just process the upgrade, quality not quite there. So we heard all of that, and we went to work within eMeter in a cross-functional team within eMeter, the support folks, our field technical services teams, professional services, our sales organization, our technical teams, our product management teams, really across the company said, what can we do to start improving the upgrade process? We put a lot of effort into that. No doubt that we can make more improvements, and we'll want to hear the same kind of feedback this year as to what's next. How do we make it even better? But we did want very, very smooth and very, very comfortable upgrades. And one of the first customers to actually move there was Alliant. And Alliant did their version 7 upgrade pretty much on their own. Not a lot of interaction. They went live over a weekend, very successful. They were very closely thereafter followed on by IESO in Canada and SP Osnet. And I can tell you as the CEO of the company, when I hear somebody's going through a major upgrade and they're going to go live, We get all the resources ready to go. We have all the bodies. We have all the telephone contacts, support, engineering, everybody ready to support it. And as CEO, you kind of take a deep breath and go, wow, I hope this goes well. Because these are major upgrades. They can be incredibly disruptive to your business. What I can tell you in all 3 cases of our version 7 upgrades, completely anticlimactic. In other words, we got to Monday, had a couple issues here or there for tuning or other performance type issues, some very minor, kind of performance, almost all a little bit performance related, all fixed within 24 hours, very, very smooth upgrades. And upgrades that are now running for weeks and weeks here without any real challenges. So our attention to detail, our attention to training people, supporting people, preparing for upgrades, getting them set properly, as well as the improvements we've made, should on an ongoing basis make upgrades easier. And you're going to see later in my presentation why getting onto version 7 should have tremendous value to you. And we really do want to encourage everybody to move along and get to the current version. The other thing we focused on is delivery options. A lot of customers, and most customers in this market, run the software on-premise. That means we ship you the software, you order hardware, you have a systems integrator come in, you integrate it all at your shop. Essentially, you assemble all the components and make it work. And that is certainly going to be an ongoing option. We're not going to go from one extreme to another extreme in our business, but we do want to complement the traditional on-premise delivery with a couple other options. And one option, which we announced last year, was the Smart Grid Appliance, which says, essentially, we're going to pre-integrate the components. We're going to take a hardware platform from IBM, we're going to build in our product around it, put all the components in, make sure the interoperability is ready to go, and we offered it last year in a medium and a large size. And we're going to continue to do that says, here's a Smart Grid Appliance, and you can wheel this in, and I should say wheel it in really up until now with a forklift, but you can wheel it in, and it is an appliance. It's a rack-mounted computer system, and it's all fully built out. It's pre-integrated, just to shorten the time frame and speed your time to results, so you don't spend as much time integrating all those various components. And then we've also been able to announce for more recently at the end of the calendar year, offering it in the cloud. And we signed a deal with Verizon that actually puts our product, Energy IP, up in the cloud, so you can actually get it as a SaaS offering or like any other cloud service. And we think that's going to be a very interesting option for customers to consider that says, let's move off, take advantage of somebody else's mission critical infrastructure that's highly secure, that's very private. Let's put it up there and let it run up in the cloud. So we'll continue to offer it in all 3 flavors, but we think it's important to have multiple options in today's world for how our customers actually deploy our software.